Okay, so this homework assignment is very simple. I think it was won't take you too much time. So write a program that prints a multiplication table, right? So the multiplication table is look like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? And then next one is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. The next one is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, and 30, right? And then just keep going, and last row is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, right? So if you, I mean, there's some patterns, right? So for example, if this is what? This is the row 1, right? And then this is what? This is, you can think as a column 1, right? And the column 2, column 3, column 4, and keep going and up to column 10, right? Up to column 10. So in the row, when the row is 1, right? When the row is 1, so that's like, so this is the outer loop, right? And the inner loop will take care of this. So inner loop take care of this row. So when outer loop is 1, right? When the row is 1, the inner loop is going to iterate, like starting from 1 all the way to 10 times, right? So it's going to, inner loop will take care of this line, right? When this is done, and then row becomes 2, right? This is outer loop, right? And then the inner loop, right? So basically the pseudocode is something like, for, let's say, row, right? I mean, by the way, this is just pseudocode. There is indentation here, right? And then 4 column, right? So when row is 1 all the way to 10. So when row is 1, right, and go to this for loop, and the column will change from 1 all the way to 10, right? So when, for example, when the row is equal to 1, right, then and so, okay, and then there's indentation here, and then it will print. So when the row is 1, then the column, right, column will becomes 1 and all the way to 10, right? So when the row is 1 and the column is equal to 1, you print the row multiplied by column. And then column is equal to 2, you print row is, so basically in this case the row is 1 and column is 1. So 1 times 1 is 1. And then the column becomes 2, and then so print row multiplied by column, right? So row is 1 and then column is 2, so it's going to print 2, etc. all the way to column becomes 10, right? In that case, basically 1 multiplied by column is 10, so which is this case, right? And next, when the inner loop is done, right, and then go to the outer loop, so when this row is equal to 2, right, and then column, its row is 2, right? and the column it's now is starting from 1 to all the way to 10, right? The column, this variable will change from 1 to all the way to 10. So the column is 1, but that means row multiplied by column, right? Row multiplied by column, so it's going to what? 2, right? And then when the column becomes 2, the row multiplied by column, so 2 times 2, which is 4, right? When the column becomes 3, row multiplied by column, so 2 times 3, which is what? 6, right? Just keep going all the way to when the column becomes 10. In this case is 2 times 10, right? So 2 times 10 is 20. And when, so done, right? Done, inner loop is done, and then let's go to the outer loop. So the row becomes this time 3, right? So row becomes 3, right? So just row is equal to 3, and the column is equal to 1 all the way to 10, right? Just keep going until row becomes what? 10. And so this is like a simple, it's like, I think it's probably less than 4 or 5 lines, right? So just nested loop. I think the most important thing is in this homework assignment is to find out the patterns, right? And that's the key. Once you find out the patterns, the nested loop is very simple to implement. Okay, so let me just stop recording my lecture.